I don't have it. Team. Okay, so we're gonna, this is, if you're not familiar with our Team Extreme website, here it is. And we are trying to build this. I love all that we have at our fingertips with Juice Plus in regard to material, but sometimes it's just overwhelming, not really knowing where to go. And so what I've done is tried to really shuck this down and make it very simple when you're looking for something, you know, directly where to go. So there's only 3, 6, 9, 12. And thank you, Mara Aiken she is developing out our whole Spanish section. And look at this. I just got to brag on what a phenomenal job. Look at what she's done, you guys. So if you know someone in Spanish, look at that support we have to give them. So this is our team website, and use it, use it, use it. So for the next 6 weeks, we're going to camp out in this product information section. And I'm just going to kind of give you a little overview. Here's a call from Dr. Candace Corson. If you've never listened to that, she goes over, I think, 17 of the most commonly asked questions about Juice Plus, and she answers them for you. To me, this is invaluable, especially for new partners. There's the different blends and the ingredients. Here's some great verbiage that our company came out with. Why settle for less than the best? Excellent verbiage in there. Another great tool. Common signs to send to people once they get started on Juice Plus. Of course, our fact sheets, our labels, how much XYZ is in Juice Plus. We're going to keep building that out. So if you've got some information there, how much phosphorus, how much, what's some other things? Let's think through calcium. You know, we want to keep building that so at your fingertips, you have it. So now what we're going to start doing is really honing in on our products. And we're starting, our very first one is going to be on the omegas. I cannot wait to hear from Brenda because she has dug up a ton of stuff. And so Brenda, take it away.
Well, exactly. I have been so excited doing this research. And I was constantly calling Elaine going, you are not going to believe this. So I don't know if any of you had seen this before, but there were already 3 of the graphics with the highlights on them. But that's what we're going to kind of go through. And we're going to start with safflower oil. I mean, when you think about, when we go into this, how all of these different things overlap, but also the individual things that we're getting from safflower oil. Okay, which I've never really even heard of that much. Okay, it helps lower cholesterol. It reduces the risk of atherosclerosis and strokes, aids in managing diabetes. It's an effective remedy against obesity. Who doesn't want that? Improves hair health, scalp health, the skin health. Skin is going to be a really big issue all the way through here. It decreases severity of PMS symptoms and improves the immune system. And I know that one of the things we talk about is, Juice Plus targets our heart, our brain, our skin, our joints, and our eyes. But there is so much more. So in addition to the safflower oil, just what's on there, I mean, when you're talking about, it's basically skin, eyes, hair, which all things we know with Juice Plus, but it also relieves migraines. It also it relieves constipation.
Tell me when you want me to move the slide.
I will. Yeah, it reduces free radicals. I mean, these are things we know that Juice Plus helps across the board, but they were so brilliant in the way they put, I mean, honestly, it almost brings me to tears. Just the integrity, just the quality of the people that are researching for products for us, for the people that thought really thoughtfully through the choices they made with these omegas. I just cannot tell you enough. So, I mean, that's just, I think the highlights of the safflower oil in every part of our life, from immune system to PMS, and even they even said um, hormones, when we're getting into hot flashes and all those kind of things. It's really impacted by safflower oil. Okay, so if you don't mind moving on. Okay, algal oil. I still don't know exactly how to pronounce that, but oh my gosh, this was so cool. I think one of the things that we talk about that I know personally, as using algal oil instead of fish oil, but just what it does for our vision. I mean, personally, my vision in 2 weeks of being on our omegas as compared to the ones that Dr. Sears, as a certified health coach, he recommended omegas. And for 5 years, I was on the quote unquote best, the one that he recommended, the West he recommended. And I took it every day. I never noticed anything, but I just did it because I knew I was right. It was the right thing to do. When we were sent our omega oils, and I just cold turkeyed off those and started, like I said, within 2 weeks, I didn't have dry eyes anymore. And after a year, the vision in I only have vision in my right eye, and it went from 20/40 to 20/20. So I thought that was pretty amazing, even though I still need these. Dr. Corson says that has nothing to do with readers. I'm like, okay. So it preserves our vision, preservation of normal body fat. It supports brain function. It maintains blood pressure, normal blood pressure, and heart function. Okay, one of the most exciting parts for me was the next one. Good for mother and child, contributes to the normal development of brain and eyes in the fetus and in the breastfeeding infant when taken by the mother. Now, one of my certifications, I took every certification Dr. Sears had, and one of them was pregnancy, because personally, that was what I started. At 12 years old, I wanted to be pregnant because my aunt was president. I really did. I know that sounds goofy, but my aunt was president of La Leche internationally for a while, and she would share with me all the benefits of breastfeeding. And so, man, I could not wait. And it only took me 20 more years to get to breastfeed until I was 32. But this is what I just found out was so cool. Okay, in addition to all that amazing information, pregnant mothers with low baseline omega levels that supplemented with 2.4 grams of algal oil a day during their third trimester decreased in their first child's life, in their child's first 5 years of life, it decreased the risk of persistent wheeze and asthma. So just taking it when she's pregnant, the next 5 years, that child's protected. Isn't that amazing? And what I need to tell you now is what I'm going to tell you with this was all based on fish oil. And so and we know that our omega oils are so much better. So there's that. Then fish oil, this supplementation, this again, in fish oil, it lowered the risk of respiratory tract infection in the first 5 years of a child's life. And this was done on a largely randomized controlled trial with 736 pregnant women. They were given 2.4 grams of fish oil or an olive oil placebo. And one of the things that they said importantly, that this dose was effective without adverse side effects. In another randomized trial, a control group, pregnant women were given algal oil. Now, this during the third trimester. These women had sons who had larger total brain volume, total gray matter, corpus callosum, and cortical volumes when compared to the placebo group. The babies' brains were bigger, which according to Dr. Sears is a juice plus baby stay in utero an extra week normally as a rule, and that's all brain development. And so it says that on this original one with fish oil that he says, it's my personal opinion based on the evidence I reviewed that supplementing with they said fish oil, now we have algal oil, is one of the best things a mom can do for when she's pregnant and when she's breastfeeding. So I don't know if that floats your boat like it did me, but if we're not pregnant now, like our darling Caitlin, you know, hopefully some of us are going to eventually have grandkids. I can't wait for that. And so, man, they're going to be on fish on our omegas long before they get pregnant with if I have anything to do with it. Okay, now on the pomegranate seed oil, you'll notice this is kind of different than the one. There's not near as many. I took this from the old one, but I'm going to be able to add some more in terms of benefits. But pomegranate oil reinvigorates your skin. It improves the skin texture. It calms irritation and redness, which is basically rosacea, which I deal with. And it also helps with collagen production. I was dumping up and down to Elaine last night because not only we know that collagen production is the big thing right now, right? And so people are taking, you know, less than great sources of collagen, but we're getting it in our pomegranate oil. So it's going to improve our complexions like crazy. Isn't that amazing? And so we also know that with pomegranates, that antioxidants are there, and it literally wrangles hordes of free radicals in our system out. And so it allows the antioxidants to do their job even more powerfully, and it helps us to stay disease-free. It also lowers our blood pressure as much as 6% in people who take pomegranate seed oil daily, okay? Neonatal care. It's been proven that it helps protect the brain, which is, again, that was also in the algal oil. Now it's reproducing here too. It thins our blood, which helps with blood circulation. It makes it easier for the blood to travel to your heart and your brain and the rest of your body. It's a natural remedy for diarrhea, dysentery, a lot of other degenerative things. It fights cancer, especially the growth of tumors and the growth of cancer cells and the growth of tumors. It also helps treat arthritis, anything with autoimmune type stuff. And it says that pomegranate oil is something great to take if you have a cold or a cough or a sore throat. It also is an incredible source of iron, a natural iron, which helps with anemia. And it also keeps plaque from forming in our arteries. So what else do you want, right? Okay. So our next one, oh my gosh, this one I probably spent 2 hours on, because the benefits of raspberry seed oil, especially for our skin, are just unbelievable. So raspberry seed oil, it helps prevent cancer. It slows the growth of cancer cells if you have them. It's sun protection and burn protection. And one of the things, and I wrote that in there, they said that the SPF in raspberry seed oil can go as high as 50. But they said, don't just wear just that, put the raspberry seed oil on your face, which is, again, be in our omegas, before you put on sunscreen. So it's double protection. It also says it's going to give you that healthy glow. It prevents eye disease. It rebalances our skin in terms of reducing acne flare-ups. It's anti-aging, reduces wrinkles, wrinkles and fine lines, or frinkles if you put them together. It's, oh my gosh. It soothes and moisturizes eczema-prone skin. My nephew was born with, had very severe eczema when he was a baby before Juice Plus, which it immediately clears it up, and we hear that all the time. It relieves psoriasis. It softens your skin. One of the things we're going to hear about again in a few minutes, it actually reduces and can even eliminate scars on our skin, which is amazing. Excuse me. It fights gingivitis in our mouth, and it also reduces the destruction of collagen. So we have one that promotes it and one that reduces the destruction of it. So so it's just amazing. Okay, some other things. The big thing with raspberry seed oil for me, I'm sorry, I laid just a second, is how it affects the skin. It also affects weight loss and that kind of things. But just in terms of eyes and skin and everything else, the raspberry is just so powerful. And I've got lots more information if you guys want it, especially on that one. So let's see, let's go on to the next one, which is tomato seed oil. Again, oh my gosh, there is so much incredible information on tomato seed oil. Okay, So tomato seed oil is used for, again, psoriasis, eczema. Now this one added cellulite, yay, and other skin problems. And again, just about everyone promotes hair growth. It prevents flu, infections, and colds. Okay, so there are 5 key benefits to tomato seed oil. The nutrition, because it's vitamin A and vitamin C, which protects us from diabetes. It protects us against cancer. In terms of, they took a study and people ate 10 or more tomatoes a week, they were 18% less likely to suffer from prostate cancer. That was one of the big ones they talked about. And that the beta carotene in tomatoes protects us from colorectal cancer. It protects your heart. And by providing potassium, which really reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease. It really helps with people that's, again, one of the things they talked about was stomach cancer. It prevents lung and stomach cancer. And it also is extremely beneficial for our kidneys. So it's just amazing. Again, tomato seed oil is great for pregnancy, that they really benefit pregnant women because they need a extra, like Dr. Sear says, you take Jubble Juice Plus if you're pregnant as a minimum, because the baby gets the first of everything. So the first round of Juice Plus that you take goes to the baby. The second round is for you, and it really does help prevent postpartum depression and all those kind of things. And it really keeps the mother pregnant as she's breastfeeding. Of course, tomatoes we've always known that it really helps with our skin and even having like what they call the brightness of our skin. It's really powerful. So there's so many things. It cools the skin. It removes dark spots. Elaine and I were just talking about that. It fights cellular damage, even like blackheads and that kind of thing. There were just so many things with tomato seed oil. Okay, so we're ready. Okay, and here is our final one, sea buckhorn oil, which I'd never heard of. They go all the way to the Himalayas to get this. This is known as the holy fruit of the Himalayas. Okay, it's been cherished, they said, for literally centuries for all of the health and anti-aging. In it, okay, the most important thing about the sea buckhorn, it improves sight, it lessens eye soreness, it contributes to, so eyes are a big thing. It contributes to the proper brain and nervous system functioning. It improves mental clarity, it lowers cholesterol, boosts immunity, reduces hunger, yay, and supports internal organs. The most important thing, the most important ingredient in seed buckhorn oil is that's our source of omega-7s. And it's actually the very best source. Fish was considered the best source, but because of all the impurities that we know of in our water, we don't want to get it from fish. We want to get it from the actual seed oil itself. And so it really improves skin health, weight prevention. Again, there's been so many things, anti-immunity, all of these incredible benefits. That omega-6, 7 that I was talking about, it restores our natural omega balance. It protects our skin cells. It supports cellular health. Really important for your gut. It helps with mucous membranes. It prevents digestive health problems, and it processes that gastric tissue through tissue and mucosas. It really helps develop that, which is how we get rid of a lot of the impurities in our body. Also, it helps with vaginal dryness, dry eyes, dry mouth, all those kind of things. The more omegas, the juicier we are, basically. And one of the great ones is cardiovascular health, which that's what the omega-7s are known for. And it's about the only place that you can get it. We don't make it ourselves, and so we have to get it from other sources. So if you would show that, okay, so I don't know if any of you have seen that somebody had made one of these with these three of, no, it was the other three, I think. There are 6 different basic ingredients, about 6 different oils in our omegas. And so they had done a slide like a one-page slide of the other three, but I put this one together that you'll be able to have all three of those in. So if you look at that one and at the next one, I went ahead and there's some new pictures on this one because I added a lot more. So I'm excited. I'm just excited to share with you. Like I said, I told Elaine, as I was doing this, I'm calling her going, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. And I said, well, I've always taken Juice Plus twice a day. And for the last 2 years, I've been taking everything 3 times a day. I now am putting out a bowl of Omegas and I'm just throwing them in my mouth whenever I think about it, because you can't overdose what Juice Plus is, and just the power. And we talked earlier. I have put it on my face before, but not regularly because my sheets were orange. I'm going to worry about that later and just buy orange sheets now because I'm going to put it on every night.
Oh man. Brenda, I mean, how many of you guys on here right now are saying, as soon as I get off this call, I'm going to call all my customers who aren't on the Omegas and get them on the Omegas? I mean, that's going to be my goal this week. I'm honing in on the Omegas and making sure my entire customer base knows about the Omegas and gets on the Omegas. So I'm just going to briefly go through what else is in this section on Omegas. Here we have our fact sheet. Whenever you have anybody who gets on the Omegas, make sure you send them this fact sheet. I think it's beautifully done, very professional, and it just reiterates what all was in our Omegas. Now we're going to kind of go into a section here where I'm going to show there's a picture and then there is verbiage. So if you'd like to either post this on social media or you want to just send this picture along with this verbiage to your customers, all you have to do, or prospect customers, is just go in here and copy and look at this phenomenal. Actually, I believe Stacy Whitmer put all this writing together. But, imagine sending this to somebody, who has a kid maybe struggling with ADHD. And we heard how powerful the Omegas are. There's a study that's been done and that's cited here at Oxford Durham. And it focuses on supplementing children and the impact of their learning, cognitive behavior, and movement disorders, the power of adding Omegas to our children and what improves. And right here, I love this. In a 3 to 6 month time frame, kids made a 13.5 months of reading progress gained in their skill set because of adding Omegas. Another one is 6.5 months progression in spelling ability. I mean, that's amazing that research has that Omegas have that kind of impact on our kids. So great tool here if you've got somebody whose kids are dealing with the ADHD. Here's another one. Beautiful picture along with verbiage in regard to healthy sleep and how Omega has an impact on how well we sleep. Here's one, just simple facts. Did you know it takes 4 to 5 pounds of wild fish to produce 1 ounce of fish oil? And you must eat the skin to get the Omegas. A lot of times people say, oh, I eat a lot of salmon. I bet they're not eating the skin. I don't when I eat it. So why not just skip the fish altogether, go straight to the source? And that's where our Juice Plus Omegas come, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, full spectrum, vegan, and it's coming all from plants. Great. So, right there, what this is doing is just cutting off a whole lot of leg time for us, right where to go to get this valuable, these valuable posts that you can immediately start posting. Here's another one on brain health. Here is our research study that's been completed on our Omegas. Love to hear this guy speak. This is a great one to grab and pass on to people. And here's the verbiage. Our newest product is full spectrum, completely vegan blend. 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 Omegas target your heart, lung, brains, joints, and skin and eyes. From Dr. Du Bois, every single cell in your body needs the Omegas. Imagine sending that short little video with that little caption to your customers or posting it on social media. I would think by now, hopefully you guys have listened to Mitra Ray's video on the omegas and the latest 3 research studies that's been done on Juice Plus. I've probably sent this video out to all of my customers, and she takes them through that swoop test, which I love to send it to people and say, I can't wait to hear what your swoop test score is. Well, do you think people will look at that video then? What the heck is a swoop test score? And so it's just a little bit of a hook to get your customers and prospects to watch this video. It's an excellent video, a little bit longer, 15-minute video, but so good. And we've even played that at some of our gatherings together, our wellness events. Brenda, you want to share something about that?
Right. Well, you were so kind enough to make a bingo game for us with it's Stroop, not Swoop.
Sorry.
Yeah, because who can say that, right? Stroop. But we do that. We show the video first and give them the bingo, and then I've gotten to where I keep my $5 Starbucks for that. We make it a bingo because first of all, everybody loves games, and it doesn't we don't feel as salesy, and so we've really had a lot of success with it and had a good time. And we're gonna kind of elaborate on that too and make it even better. So
and we'll post the bingo game in here. And it's kind of fun to watch people get excited about doing bingo, and they pay attention to the video because they're hunting and pecking for the answers on their bingo sheet. So a great little fun thing to mix up your wellness events. And hopefully we're able to starting to do our monthly events and live events. Here again, beautiful by the company, just a visual of everything that's in our Omega blend. And here is the next several. Here is, let's say you get an Omega customer, then take the next 4 weeks and begin to educate them. So brand new Omega customer, then what you want to do is send them this. Thank you so much for your mega order. Fun fact, Juice Plus Omega Blend is a plant-based combination of the omegas, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 fatty acids containing DHA, EPA, and ALA that are derived from fruits, algae, and seed oils by harvesting omegas from the original algae source instead of fish. And it goes on. So you've got right there the verbiage, and look at this beautiful post you can post with it. You can send that to customers again or post on social media. Here's your second one. I'd send that out week 2. Here's your third one, week 3. And then your last one, week 4, and the visual that went with it. And what a great way. I guarantee you, if we did that, and we're going to develop and make sure we have this every time we bring on a new customer, we've got at least a text message with verbiage and a picture per week to really seal in. I feel like we have 4 months to lock in a customer. Many times we get customers just because they love you and want to buy something from you. We want them to buy Juice Plus and get to the point by the end of the 4 months. They're not buying Juice Plus because of you. They're buying Juice Plus because they understand the value of it and they don't want to live without it. And that's where we want to get them to. Here's an incredible Zoom from our beloved Dr. Richard Du Bois. Again, his quote there, every single cell in your body needs omegas. So that's a great one to send to people. Here's another one by Dr. Jan Roberto, 6 minutes. Again, another excellent quick video from a medical professional. Now, in the course like Brenda of putting together this talk, we discovered, actually Brenda discovered and shared it with me. I am in love, and this is my new video to share over the next 2 weeks with all my customers. And we're going to take a minute and listen to it. It's going to blow your mind when you hear what Dr. Kim Dalzell says about what omegas are doing in our body.
omega-3 fatty acids, I think it's important to understand, first of all, what they are. So they are a group of something called the polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they have a number of health benefits, brain health, heart health. But in terms of cancer and cancer prevention, omega-3 fatty acids have the ability to impact two of the cancer control pathways, that of inflammation, or really anti-inflammation, and something called anti-angiogenesis, which I call it decrease the spreadability of cancer cells, because it just sounds a lot easier to just say that. Omega-3 fatty acids are fat. So I think about butter and how easily it can spread. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are not in butter, but you're going to find them in fish. You're going to find them, so any of your oily fish, salmon, tuna, mackerel, they're going to be in walnuts and seeds like chia, hemp, flaxseed, also found in avocados. And check this out. There was, and this just happened last month, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published this article that talked about omega-3 fatty acid index. This is an index that determines, so based on the amount of omega-3s that you actually consume, you're going to get a particular index from your blood, a measurement. And that index is as powerful as a predictor for early death as smoking. So, they'll say if you have so many cigarettes per day, it's going to decrease your life expectancy by X amount of years. The same thing applies for omega-3s. That's how important omega-3 fatty acids are. And definitely the population studies are showing the higher omega-3 fatty acids in your body, the lower your risk for prostate cancer, for breast cancer. In fact, for breast cancer, there is a 60% reduced risk for people who just consume enough omega-3s. So it's really important. So again, not a lot of people eat fish, so you can move to more of the plant-based, but kale and spinach both come in the family, the cruciferous family. And the omega-3 fatty acids found in Brussels sprouts, another crucifer. So the only thing is if you're not going to do, because I know some people turn their nose up at Brussels sprouts, they don't want to do, they don't want to eat fish. And then there's the fish-based omegas, but I love doing the plant-based omega fatty acids. So omega blends that incorporate a number of different omega fatty acids, but all from plant sources. So you're getting that nice balanced profile of fatty acids is a really good thing. And then don't forget, this is my Cancer Nutrition IQ booster of the day. If you're going to eat nuts for the purposes of getting omega-3 fatty acids, just remember that about a quarter cup is going to be 200 calories. So be aware you're getting more calories, but just a quarter cup of walnuts is going to give you 2,500 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. That's actually a really good dose. I happen to love pecans more than I do walnuts. 5 times less omega-3 fatty acids. So walnuts are your superstar choice when it comes to nut-based omegas. Everyone needs larger amounts of omega-3s. If you're not going to eat it, you've got to take a supplement. You have to take a supplement. So many people don't like when fish revisits them. It's kind of like a bad relative. You just don't want them to keep coming back up, right? So that's one more reason why I think it's really good to move into more of a plant-based omega. You can help prevent any reflux, the fishy smell. Some people really like and can handle it very well. That's fine, but just know that there are alternatives as well. And people who are curious about really looking at all of the omega-3 fatty acids, including the omega blend plant-based omega supplements, all that information can be found on cancernutritioniq.com.
Okay, so you guys can see how powerful that is. What a great tool to share when introducing Juice Plus to your clients. And there's a little, or customers, and there's a little already written out verbiage you can send to people. And I'm gonna turn it back over to Brenda to close us out.
Again, in researching all this, we were also looking at recordings, ones on recording. And this first one that we're going to watch is only 3 minutes. This guy's name is Bear, and he's a senior sales coordinator with Juice Plus. I just think he's got one of the cutest faces I've ever seen. Anyway, but wait until you hear his story, and we're going to jump on right back afterwards just to talk about what stood out to me.
Hi, everyone. I am Baron Brown. I am an Atlanta-based entrepreneur, and I'm excited because I get to share the power of the Omega Capsules by Juice Plus. Guys, all of my adult life, I struggled with severe acne. I had major inflammation. I had lots of hyperpigmentation, so many breakouts that I really could not control it. I had gotten to the point where I had seen 2 different dermatologists, and they put me on 3 different antibiotics. None of them lasted long term. My acne got so bad that it really impacted my mental and emotional well-being. I was so self-conscious of the way that I looked because of my acne. It wasn't until I began to integrate a plant-based diet that I began to see results. So I'm going to share with you exactly what I did. And it started with the Juice Plus company. I began to flood myself with these capsules that provide 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries on a daily basis. And I understood quickly the power of plant-based nutrition and its impact and its ability to heal the body. But I really want to highlight one particular piece of the Juice Plus company that has changed my life, and that is the Omega Capsule. When I saw this and realized that the Omega Capsule was great for heart, brain, joints, skin, and eyes, I took a serious look at it. And I ordered the products, and I began to take them orally for about a month or so and saw great results. But it wasn't until a business partner of mine said, "Hey, you should definitely try this on your skin." She said, "Poke a little hole in the capsule and apply it to your skin." And I did just that. And within about 6 months, my skin had completely cleared. So I'm going to show you my before and after pictures. So this was me 6 months ago. I had scarring, I had breakouts all over my face. It wasn't just isolated. I had tried antibiotics and none of it worked. And so I'm gonna show you this small little capsule lasts about 3 or 4 days, applying it twice. So you literally bite the capsule, or you can poke a hole in it with your teeth, have a hole in it. You dab just a little bit of the oil, and you can apply it directly to your skin. And I did this twice a day, in the morning, after I wash my face, and at night. And that little bit of oil allowed my skin to heal. I didn't have to put any chemicals on my face. Everything is all natural. And there's literally a glow. Literally a glow, you guys. I want to show you guys up close what this does to your skin. It's a nice moisturizer. It gives your skin a nice tint as well. But most importantly, it's healing your skin, not only from the inside, but also on the outside. So I just wanted to share this quick testimony with you all because I think it's important. If you struggle with acne, if you know someone who struggles with any type of skin disease, this is something that could potentially help them. In addition to drinking more water, in addition to curbing your diet to reduce the things that are gonna cause inflammation, adding the Juice Plus brand, the fruits, vegetables, and the berries, and most importantly, the Omega capsules can truly make a difference. So I wanna thank you guys for your time. Go out there, try the Omegas, try the whole product line, make those lifestyle adjustments as well, and see if you get those results. Thank you guys so much for your time and have an amazing day.
Oh my gosh, do you see? Is he the cutest thing ever? And I mean, I'm just fascinated with that. So thank you so much, Baron. And the other video that we were going to talk about.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, well, that one, everything you want to know about Juice Plus, that is like a cartoon. It's only a 1-minute one, but we'll also put, we'll try to send it out. There's another one if you go onto recordings, and I can send you the link to it. I don't know if any of you have heard about another Juice Plus representative. His name is Scott Van Nuken, but he is he's from Canada, and he he was a former Olympic swimmer, and he just talks about, basically he's talking about the dangers of fish oil. And one of the things that that I learned through Dr. Sears is that when you consider that there is not, I watched a documentary actually too on water. There is not a drop of water on planet Earth that has not been tainted by, it used to be, basically things like morphine and those kind of drugs. Now it's a lot of illegal drugs that are in there. And just think, and think about how it got into the water, right? From bodily excretions in every form. So just the purity of everything that we have, there's just nothing like it anywhere. There is nothing like our omegas. I mean, that's what came out in all of this research. Even if you go to Google and you Google other omega, other products that supposedly have omegas, everybody else is fish oil. Nothing has our combination. So I'm not kidding you. It is, what Dr. Sears called it, our gold, and it really is. It's absolutely such an incredible resource and treasure. So I just hope this